little Prince Harry's in trouble, huh, Fez?
Yeah, Prince Harry on the Sun, the London tabloid.
Mm-hmm.
Picture of him right there on the front page where he's at a party with his brother.
Right.
He's kissing on this blonde girl who's not his girlfriend.
Right.
And just a handful of teat on this girl.
Fake tit. I mean, those things look like two rocks that she had on the front of her. My favorite part of it is the picture of his brother just wasted. Just fucking wasted behind him.
Yeah, he's in the background enjoying some cocktails, and the eyes are down to tiny, tiny slits. He's so drunk. He's just so absolutely out of it.
When you're doing shots 3:30 in the morning, you're fucking gone. Here's what I don't get out of the whole story. We still use the word princes and queens. This isn't the 1400s. This is the 1990s. Can we stop calling people prince?
This is the 2006s.
Wow. Where the hell have I been?
We're even further along.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this decade is the 2006s.
Yeah. So they're the heirs to the throne. The way the story was written, third to the throne, Prince Harry.
Right.
You know, so they keep that whole thing going, too. I think whoever becomes king next, I don't think, it won't be Charles.
There's never been a king during our lifetime, right? It's always been queen.
Yeah, because she took over like 80 years ago.
Now, queen, kind of embarrassing, but king, just downright ridiculous. That a fucking man would put a crown on his head and a big red robe and start walking around acting like he was in charge. And this is what gets to me. And they're not. I mean, I could see being a king if you actually ran the country. But what do these people do?
Yeah, in the war in Iraq, how many times has the Queen come over and spoke to Congress or sat with President Bush?
What do they do, Fez? Do you know?
They're just head of state.
What does that even mean, though? If you're head of state, you would be running something.
Yeah, and they are there for ceremonial purposes. And yet it costs that country, I mean billions, to keep this family running.
To me, it seems like if we put a crown on Paris Hilton's head, because they all act just like Paris Hilton, it's not that big a deal.
You are right about if we had a king, because that just makes you think Jerry Lawler right off the bat, doesn't it? I mean,
that's the only king that I've had during my lifetime, except for if you're going to go for the big cat, Ernie Ladd, and that was many, many years ago.
He had one of those imperial margarine crowns that he used to put on.
Well, what else would you wear if you're a man? You can't just wear the little tiara. You've got to have that whole big red thing going. That's like a Jamaican.
You're right. That's the problem. All the bling gets a lot gaudier.
How many kings and princes are out there now? And England has them.
Yeah.
France, no. Italy, no. Germany, no.
No. Mideast countries have them. Like King Hussein of Jordan.
But he's the actual king. He runs the country.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Which I don't even understand. Why do we deal with a place who say a guy runs it because of birthright? Why we're spreading freedom all over the world, why would our president meet a king and not act like it's ridiculous?
And the fact that we made such a stink about no more kings when this country was actually founded.
True. Some guy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Fez. Listen, I used to live over there. They're good for a few things. They're good for tourism for the country. They're good for making deals, trade with other countries. They're good, they're good morale for the country. We love them, but, I know it's not the right thing for America.
I don't even understand it, though. We love them. They're good for commerce. How are they good for commerce?
No, because when they're making deals with other countries, trade agreements, it's like, it kind of butters the deal up, having the Queen there. They love that. Other dignitaries from other states and stuff like that.
If I was there making a deal with England and she showed up, I'd say, get out. This has nothing to do with you.
Queen no stroke.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I mean, they're good for tourism.
Are you... All right, but see, there's a lot of things. Cocaine would be good for business, too. But we outlaw that because it has a downside.
I can't buy the tourism argument because people that are visiting England would still go see Buckingham Palace, whether there was a lady sitting on the throne inside there or not.
Right.
They would still go see all that stuff. It's all historical landmarks.
Tommy, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing, guys?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Tommy?
I can hear you. Hello?
Tommy?
Hello?
Hi, you're on Run Fest.
How you doing? You know, Prince Charles is not first to the throne. He got annulment, so he can't become king. Prince William is going to take over when Queen Elizabeth dies.
Well, it still officially could be Prince Charles, even though that the word is that it won't be. He still is first in line.
He's still first in line. What could happen if he decides to become king is that tree bark that he married, Camilla Parker Bowles, she couldn't be queen.
What would she be?
She would be
Mrs. Bowles.
Yes, exactly. Duchess of Yorkshire Terrier, something like that.
I know, that's the other thing. It's bad enough they got a king and a queen and all that, but then they have lords and dukes and ladies. Like, it's a fucking Renaissance festival. Stop the silliness and start acting like humans.
Yeah, Prince Charles, when he married Lady Diana Spencer, she was already Lady Diana before she became Princess of Wales.
Yeah, then they have the balls to act like this is some rags to riches story.
Yeah, because her father was Lord Littlebrook or whatever.
Did you ever see the house she grew up in? It looks like Yale. It looks like she was born and raised in an Ivy League school, but all by herself.
Just goes on and on forever.
How big of a house do you need?
Well, I mean, if you look where they have her buried, she's on an island. On her own property.
Right.
Where it's like you would I think it's 2 days by boat to get out to the island where they have her mausoleum.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's ridiculous what they do over there. They're out of their minds. And this kid, he wants to go out. He's how old? 21, 22?
Harry's 21.
All right, 21, get drunk and grab some tit. That is the age. I mean, if there's ever an age that you can get away with it, that's the age. Why is everybody making a big deal about this and acting like the country could suddenly dissolve?
Now, this girl whose tit he was grabbing, Natalie Pinkham, of course, British name. I'm sure she's...
And she's already a billionaire herself, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's Dame or Lady Natalie Pinkham. She's some sort of television hostess.
Really?
Yeah, so she's some sort of local England celebrity. They just call anyone who gets on TV a host or hostess, no matter what they do.
I don't think that's true.
Well, that's a title they should get rid of, Ron.
I don't think they call everybody a hostess over there. You're just all fired up today.
So Prince Harry, he's furious. He says these photos were stolen from this Lady Pinkham's house.
Yeah.
And he can't console. Talk about inconsolable.
Yeah.
His steady girl, Chelsea Davy, who's currently at university in South Africa. This is why until they start to write their news articles in modern 2006 words,
the 1990s,
they're going to keep their royalty going. They're going to keep that tradition. Until they can start a newspaper article without hear ye, they're going to keep the old ways.
Dugout Doug.
You know who you never saw acting like that? The most overlooked king of all time, from the family of Heenan. That's King Haku.
King Haku, his reign did not last all that long.
No, it kind of took over when King Harley Race abdicated. And then next thing you know, he's a king one second, next second he's part of the Colossal Connection with Andre the Giant.
Yeah, he dropped it to King Duggan, who then dropped it in turn to one of the greatest kings, Savage.
Oh, yeah, Randy Macho King Savage. The only guy that thought, I'm going to add something to the king part.
When Hacksaw Duggan was king, he looked just like the Cowardly Lion when they put a crown and a rug across his shoulders in Wizard of Oz.
I do believe in ghosts. I do believe in ghosts.
I was king of the forest.
Johnny Armand Fez.
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's the royal family's real last name?
I believe it's O'Malley. No, I don't have no idea.
This one I do know.
Szynski?
No.
All right.
It's Windsor. They are the Windsors.
But the place is called Windsor, right?
Yeah, the House of Windsor.
Yeah, so that's a lie. They just named themselves after the town.
Well, it'd be like I'm Fez from the House of Watley.
Yeah. What about the Duke of New York? No one ever brings him up from Escape from New York. Here's Fat Betty. You're on Ron Fez.
Hey, buddy, Spy
Yeah.
Report.
Good. We need
The
a spine for it.
the son photos are 3 years old. They just got busted for it, and they came out and they're apologizing for running them as if they were new.
All right, so on the
Also,
other hand, you're saying this kid was 18 all fucked up and grabbing tit.
Yeah, good for him.
How old are you allowed to drink over there? How old you got to be?
I don't think there is an age.
No, that's crazy talk.
That's insane.
Here in England, we drink a pint no matter what age.
So that would probably be before he was dating Lady Chelsea Davy Jones.
Now, I do watch BBC America, and my favorite show right now is called Life on Mars. Have you ever seen this one, Fez?
No.
This is it's a cop in Manchester. So he's out, he's going after this whole murder deal, and he steps out of his car, he gets hit by a truck. He's listening to Life on Mars, the Bowie song, on his iPod. For some reason, when he wakes up, he's back in 1973, Manchester. So I have no idea how they drink their hot beers over there. But at one point, they give these guys a paint can full of bitters. And it was called like a WD-7 something. It was supposed to be like 7 beers in a paint can, it looked like. I was blown away by how crazy those people are.
Just insane. I mean, I understand, we're a hardy folk.
Right.
We drink. But you have to be able to humanly do it.
Right.
Not just start mixing, turpentine and stuff together.
Well, I gotta have a little chill on my brewski. I don't go for the hot beer thing. I'll give away something if anybody knows what this was. And it was like a 7 package, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I see them bring out a paint can. They're literally opening it with a fucking screwdriver and then pouring it out. It was insane.
Is that all of Europe? Everyone drinks hot beverages?
Yes. Everyone outside the United States doesn't understand the refrigeration thing.
Wow,
They have hot wine everywhere.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I would get if I was a civilized country.
Right.
And I was like, all right, no more, we're going to start wearing pants and start cooling things off.
Right. And we're not going to take a bath in our kitchen sink. We got to have a shower. Those people are they're just running some water. That's why they're very big on the powders over there. They get up in the morning, throw some powder on their balls, and think that they're fucking refreshed.
Yeah, there was some shot of Tony Blair shirtless the other day. Those big man boobs, and you could tell he was just wiping his pits, and that was going to be the bath for the day.
Bro, I'm serious. If you bring that up again, I'm already inconsolable over Bruno Kirby. I will walk out. I can't get into that stuff.
I'm really sorry about Bruno Kirby.
Mike, I'm inconsolable. I can't be consoled. Mike, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddies?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, Ronnie, I feel bad for you. It must be hard dealing with a whiny queen in the studio every day.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fez. You know what? You're going to have names called at you now because Opie has fans. It happens.
Yeah, I understand how it works. Hey, it's not like I didn't pick up a newspaper during the Kobe Bryant case. I know how people get treated when they make accusations.
Ben, you're on Run and Fez.
Yeah, when you're talking about how the reason they've been in power so long, there were 3 or 4 families: Habsburgs, Tudors, Stuarts, Windsors. Supposedly, they are direct descendants from Jesus Christ.
Well, just so you know that, I don't see how Jesus Christ would get all the way over to England. And when Jesus Christ was walking around doing his deed, and the Roman Empire and all that, England was still living in cages and scratching their asses. I mean, they were way far behind.
And if you wanted to be picked as the royal family of England, whose descendant could you pick to be? If you're going to make up this family history of yourself, who better to pick than Jesus?
That's the way it is, fellas. That's the way it's been.
How can it be? Jesus wasn't British. He didn't end up there.
The Queen of England, when she was, there's a secret ceremony after she's anointed or whatever, and she is also the Queen of Israel.
All right, and explain to me the bloodline. You're saying Jesus had a baby that moved to England.
It's all from European descent.
But you try to figure it out. How did didn't the bloodline stop with Jesus?
No, he had brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay. So these were like grandnephews.
Jesus had brothers and sisters that were from Joseph, his father and his mother.
Ronnie, it's like
that's not his real father. You know, let's face that, they would be half brothers at best.
It's like when you're in the Skakel branch of the Kennedy family.
It's still considered to be a bloodline.
Only on Mary's side, not on Joseph's side. I'd point that out right away. Joseph had nothing to do with Jesus, other than did a really great job as a stepdad, and that doesn't come up in the Bible much. But he used to take Jesus everywhere with him. Taught him a trade. Treated him like he was his own, even though he knew the difference.
Yeah, he was going to take off at the beginning.
Neil, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Ronnie, I got a question to your answer to your beer question. You're talking about the paint can with all the different beers in it. That's how the style of beer, the porters, started, because the porters from the trains would come in and they would get a draw a little bit off of each different beer tap into one container.
Oh, no. So it's a can of beers that everything... so you go there and from the keg, they pour it into this can and then you walk home with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can order them today in a glass, but that's just the style of beer that started just like that. I don't know why the hell they put it in a can. I guess it was just convenient.
What's convenient about a paint can full of beer? It's insane. All right, I'll send you into the big-ass prize closet.
Neil, we'll get you a copy of Arrested Development. That's Season 3, courtesy of Fox Home Entertainment. Arrested Development Season 3. That's in stores now from Fox Home.
And I got news for you. If you didn't see the first 2 seasons, it's going to be a rough ride. It's not going to be easy for you to pull it off. You really have to do some work for this prize and go back and view the first 2 seasons.
Or the prize closet may need some amending.
Did you ever get into that show, Fez?
I never saw one episode of it.
Yeah. Earl, what about you?
No, I never got into it.
I was a big fan. I love the show. I know you guys wouldn't like it because no one gets voted off. Somebody has to get voted off every show these guys watch.
Then how do you know who won Arrested Development?
There is no winners, Fez.
Tell me.
It's entertainment. Pure entertainment. Here's Scott. Scott, you're on Run of Fez.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's documented that Joseph made trips over to England and brought his sons with him.
When?
In Earl's report.
Back when he was living.
There was nothing in England those days. Those people were living in the fucking trees.
Well, supposedly he traded, you know. I think they were a pretty wealthy family, you know, Joseph.
He was a carpenter. How wealthy could you possibly get?
He couldn't get a room in Bethlehem when his son was being born. Half son.
Scott, where are you calling from?
Mississippi.
Oh, yeah. Joseph probably ran over on a dinosaur. That happened.
He made several trips to England, and they were documented during his time. I don't know which statement was stupider.
Jesus' family was very well off. They did very well for themselves.
They summered in Manchester.
Why wouldn't they? They love the Manchester sound.
Of course they were huge landowners there. That's all there was. Help yourself. There's no one else here.
No one ever figured out how to come up with corn. God, they were stupid. I mean, if you look around, like when Rome was conquering the world, they didn't even bother with England. There was nothing there. There was no there.
Yeah, they just kept going east and south.
Blowhard, you're on Run of Fez.
You know, I'm sitting here as we speak, and I'm staring at a picture of the King of Norway on my wall. And you got to admit that King Harold of Norway is a pretty cool dude, a man of the people.
I had no idea that Norway had a king.
Yep. For years it was King Olaf, and now it's King Harold. And usually, every January, my birthday, he sends me a birthday card.
Now, does he run the country, or is he
it's
just...
mostly ceremonial.
Yeah.
But he's a man of the people. He's not like with the Windsors in England. He's not all about the pomp and circumstance. He actually traveled to Brooklyn a couple of years ago because we have a Norwegian nursing home here, and he visited the people. And he's really cool. He dresses down. He wears nice sweaters. He's a smart dresser. And he doesn't really wear the crown too much. He's more into the military uniform.
You know, to me, Fezzi, this sounds like one of those guys who just says that they're the king of carpeting. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you need anything, come to the king.
King of carpets.
Yeah, you just can't say that you're the king of something.
So I wrote him a letter when I was a kid. I wrote his father a letter, actually. And
he has as much power as Elizabeth the Useless of England.
And he's really a man of the people. During the Olympics, he was wearing street clothes. And he gets ceremonial and stuff, usually around the holidays. But King Harold is really cool. And usually when a relative of
Blowhard, he's down to earth because he probably makes minimum wage. It's the king of Norway. It's not a big deal. It's like being the king of cartoons.
No, for a country of 4.5 million, they have the highest standard of living in the world, or one of the highest. So,
yeah, because he's not in there screwing it up.
And that's only because we choose not to bomb them. If we ever decide, we'll turn that place into goddamn kindling tomorrow. All right, Blowhard.
With that, the Norwegian military isn't exactly a world power, but they are a people of peace. When's the last time they had a war?
Let's not act like you don't come from Viking blood. They invented the word rape. We did not even know what rape meant until Norway came up with it. It's the one thing they've given the planet.
You win on that one.
All right, thank you, my friend.
If we go to war against Norway, man, it's just going to be a war about herring. Corporations and herring, man.
What's with the man thing that you pop out every once in a while? When did you get beat on me?
Just how I feel about war.
I see. You need to get street a little bit.
Yeah.
Greg, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, Ron, I just don't think you're giving my fellow gentlemen and scholars their due. Have you not heard of a documentary called The Da Vinci Code?
Yeah. I read the book and felt like a girl while I was doing it. I got to tell you the truth. I really did. I felt like I should be sitting on the beach with a big straw hat on and sunglasses reading it.
From your book club.
So, no, I did not go to the Tom Hanks film. Did you go see that, Fez?
Yeah, I went to see it.
Yeah.
And didn't enjoy it only because there had been so much talk about the Da Vinci Code in the news and on television and everything.
Right.
I knew the whole thing. I never read the book, obviously.
Well, if it's a good film, you can know the whole thing and still get into it. It's not like, the 9/11 movie, you know how that turns out, but you could go see the film.
It was all right. I like Paul Bettany. I liked him as the albino monk.
Glenn, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, buddies. First off, Arrested Development is the best show on television. Well,
used to be
at least.
It's gone now.
Yeah, no kidding. But all these people that are calling up saying Jesus' family was in England, it's absolutely untrue. You read the Da Vinci Code. So Mary Magdalene was in France. And that may be the case, may not be the case, but that's where that comes from. The royal family may have been, of France, may have been directly descendant to Mary Magdalene.
Thank you very much. Fezzi, you get into this stuff, and the fact that you think a bloodline is important in this day and age is beyond me.
Where that makes the person the best. So you take out any other qualification.
Right.
Education.
You have royal blood. It's all about your royal blood. And let's face it, that these Windsors that we've seen during our lifetime, savages. Obviously, they killed that girl in France. I've seen footage, and this isn't shown to everybody, that when Lady Di, or she was Princess Di then, they showed the Queen Mother running her car into a wall.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
She was in a Humvee, and she ran that chick into a wall. I mean, they're savages. They're out of their minds, batshit insane.
You see this Harry now just grabbing tit everywhere he can.
I don't blame him. It's the fucking first straight one I've ever seen in that family. I'm excited for him. The bloodline has changed. Here's the other thing. That Harry looks just like Eastside Dave. And seems like he's about as bright.
Yeah, it looks nothing like Charles whatsoever.
Right.
But does look like that James Hewitt that they always said Princess Diana had an affair with.
Loved James Hewitt, did she?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he was Sire, Lord, or Sir James Hewitt.
She loved him, and then later, he went and sold her panties on eBay. They're filthy, filthy people. They bathe in powder and that's it. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, pals? I miss non-backstabbing Fez.
Me too. Fez changed.
Jesus' family was Jewish, and there aren't any cliques involved in the parliament. It's impossible.
You know, good point. And the same with the French. They act like they hate Jews. The British act like they hate Jews. But then the first chance they get, we are part of the Jesus' bloodline. I should go like this. Well, then you're not welcome in this club.
We start with Jesus. No one before.
Because they act like Jesus wasn't a Jew, he was a Christian.
Right. Yeah, we just attach ourselves to the very first Christian.
In the meantime, he stayed being a rabbi, right? Never turned his back on the Jewish faith.
Exactly, yeah. That's all they call a rabbi or teacher. Same thing.
Fucking gibberish. Crazy gibberish talk. It's just insane.
But now you ask him, he's Lord Jesus from the house of Nazareth.
The only Nazareth I care about did Love Hurts. And they did it well. Brian, you're on Run and Fez.
Yeah, hey, Ronnie, the reason that they drink all that shit hot over there is because they have rolling blackouts and brownouts all the time. They're horrible power grid. And I'm thinking the reason they did the paint bucket is because it's sealable and carryable. And it's just the easiest thing to get a hold of over there.
I don't know. I mean, if you got a refrigerator that can stay cold for 3 hours, chill up the brewski. I don't want to sit here and drink a hot beer. I don't understand it.
That guy's acting like it's impossible, that England's still in the Dark Ages, and they're doing what they can to keep the rats out of the grain. They have technology, use it.
They like hot beverages over there. Hot milk.
Ew. I can't imagine wanting a hot drink with your meal. How does that quench your thirst?
What about a hot tea? That's not bad. Coffee. I don't even think they drink coffee over there. They're fucking crazy people.
Yeah, I don't think... Anyway, if you gave them coffee, it'd be like poison to them. They're all about the tea. And obviously no iced tea.
No, they have no idea what iced tea is. Lemonade? Foreign to these people. Just hot, hot, hot.
You could just be the most popular. You could take over as the new king of England by introducing ice cubes to these people. I'm sure once it started getting around, everyone would love it and it would become a new craze. It wouldn't take too long to catch on.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. I think they come over here, but they act like that our cold beverages hurt their teeth.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure there's a sensitivity there.
All the nerve endings are right there.
Just dangling.
Steve, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, a couple things. I wrote a thesis over the whole genealogy thing on how it affected the bloodlines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere close to Jesus.
On the Windsors?
Yes. Not even. You couldn't even throw them into the same area code.
Thank you very much, area code. Not that Jesus had a phone, but if he did... he would have been in a different area code.
Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, The Ron and Fez Show. XM 202.